constantly putting out different type of Cricut hacks, but today I want to specialize and go all in on heat transfer vinyl hacks. How many of you love using heat transfer vinyl? Because if you do, you're absolutely going to love today's video. We're going to teach you every single hack that is relevant to heat transfer vinyl today in this video. You're definitely going to learn something, so go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe for more Cricut videos, and let's go ahead and jump into these amazing Cricut hacks with Makers Gonna Learn. Hack number one is working with mandalas. How many times have you wanted to use a really complicated, complex design like a mandala, but you're like, I don't want to weed it? Guess what? Me either. So here's what our craft hack is today. You can use a setting like craft board or heavy cardstock, more pressure, and it will actually cut your mandala all the way through. So instead of having to weed it, you will be able to just peel this mandala all the way up and it will be ready to use. You'll see that some of the pieces will stay inside the vinyl, but look, this is how easy it is. Now you just go through, take out these few pieces instead of having to weed it. And the best part is when you take it and heat it down, it's just like any other time you would apply it down. This is still going to get a few bubbles, so it'll be really simple for you to be able to press it down. And believe it or not, like, this is really simple. Like, you're not going to have to struggle too much. My tip here, after you get all of your inside pieces of your mandala out, is you're go lay it flat, you're go heat set it like you normally would, and then I like to use a weeding tool to come in here and get the started to remove the transfer. Because remember, your transfer is still built in here. Even though you cut it all the way through, that plastic is still there. So you just want to be mindful and maybe have like a weeding tool to peel it up. What's great is this will all bubble when it's heat set down, and then as you start peeling it, I do kind of a warm peel, not a hot peel, but definitely not a cold peel, just to get that transfer tape removed off. But now you have a heat transfer vinyl mandala good to go every single time. All right, my friends, hack number two is for all of you that still struggle to weed your heat transfer vinyl. Grab your heat press, and what you're going to do is you're going to heat it up to 300, 350. You're going to press it for roughly 10 seconds, like not much at all. You're just wanting to heat this bottom plate right here, and then here's the hack. You're going to let it go up, being very mindful. Swing aways work great for this. Then you're going to bring your vinyl in right here, and what you'll notice is it's going to be 10 times easier to weed. Just because it is heated up, I mean, it's unbelievable how fast and how easy it is to weed when there's a little bit of heat. It is unbelievable at how fast this goes. I mean, this is another mandala, so if you are for some reason are not a fan of hack number one, this is a great way to be able to weed a mandala really easily right under any type of heat source. Obviously, you're closer to heat, so you just want to be mindful of that. Definitely supervise yourself really well, but I mean, you're going to have great results weeding super quick. So if for some reason you don't have a heat press and you are wanting to be able to do this with your Easy Press, what you would actually do is use your mini Easy Press, your 9x9, whatever you have, onto your heat mat. And you just warm up your mat and then do the same process just like I am on this heat press. Next up, I want to share with you my secret for finding the center of all my shirts. There's two different hacks here. Hack number one for this is I like to find the arm sleeves. You can see that they line up here, and you just want to take it, line them up, and then the best part is after you line these two up right here, it's super simple because then you'll stretch out your shirt just like so, and you can lay it flat, and then you can use your heat source to create your center line. It's super, super simple. But let me tell you an even easier way if you're interested. You can actually take your shirt, just lay it out. You can grab a t-shirt ruler. We have one from Makers Gonna Learn, and you just place it right here, and it'll actually tell you exactly the center of your shirt, lickety split. Like 1 second, you don't have to fold anything, you don't have to heat anything. You just have the t-shirt ruler right here, and it's good to go. So whether you have the line in the middle because you were able to fold the shirt or you're using the t-shirt ruler, here's what you do next. So you take your design, whatever it is, and you want to fold it right where the lines line up. So wherever the text of the edges line up, that is truly the center. Now, let me tell you, when I first started doing this hack, it got really confusing because I was trying to line up the transfer tape. That is wrong. You want to take the heat transfer vinyl right here, line it up to the edge, and thus you now have the center. So I like to just pinch the bottom and the top, right like so. So there you have it. You now have the center. So now I can line this up right like so with my center line, and now it's going to line up, and I have my design placed perfectly in the center of my shirt. If you all are loving these hacks, be sure to, again, subscribe down below and like the video because our next one is going to blow your mind. If you have a mini easy press, this is my favorite way to be able to remove any type of heat transfer vinyl without chemicals from a shirt. No, you do not have to throw the shirt away. Let me share with you this quick hack. You're actually going to want to take the mini easy press and then hold at the second heating. So it's preheated to the second level, and you're going to see that it's going to start heating up, and look right here. Then now that you've heated up the heat transfer, you're able to unweed the heat transfer vinyl from the shirt. And again, no chemical required for this, super simple. I like to give about 15 to 20 seconds of the heat transfer vinyl on the shirt so that it can heat up. And then you can even see the color changing on the fabric. And then look, you're able to just weed it off. So as you see, it's that easy to be able to peel up any heat transfer vinyl from your shirt time and time again. Whether you applied a piece down incorrectly, you're not happy with your design, anything like that, you'll be able to use your mini easy press to remove your heat transfer vinyl anytime you make a mistake. This next hack is really a word of advice and encouragement, and that is to avoid small text. When you start looking at fonts and designs that are going to be, less than 3 or 4 inches, and they're really thin fonts, you definitely want to avoid it when it comes to heat transfer vinyl. The reason is the Cricut can cut it really well, and you probably can weed it really well. The way I describe it is that your thin lines end up getting wavy and distorted because the heat is activating and wanting to adhere it down, but with those thin, small lines, you're gonna find that it just doesn't look as clean and elegant as you wanted it to be able to be when you were designing it. And again, the Cricut can cut it, you can weed it, but we just like to avoid those super thin lines, especially with heat transfer vinyl. And the next thing I wanted to share was the durability. Even if it goes on well, it is a really thin part of the shirt. So guess what? Since it's thin, it doesn't have a lot of adhesive to keep it down. So I always find those thinner lines and thinner letters peel up a lot quicker than just a little bit thicker letters. This next hack is for anyone that's working with layering heat transfer vinyl. So traditionally, when you're layering heat transfer vinyl, it's going to get thick and bulky because you're literally layering color on top of color. So what I want to invite you to do today is a method we call knockout. And this is a way to get the same result but actually save vinyl and make it a lot simpler because it'll end up being just one layer. You're just going to knock out the second layer from the base layer, and then you line it up, and as you can see, they become one layer rather than having the 2 layers stacked on top of each other. Because when you stack these on top of each other, you're going to see that your shirt is thicker and it doesn't feel near as comfortable as being able to use the knockout method, slicing these out or excluding these, and then cutting just like this. This is going to allow you to have better results time and time again because guess what? Both of the colors are getting direct adhesion to the fabric. We're confident that knockout text will give you the best results because each color of your layer gets to adhere directly to the fibers of your t-shirt. And that is why we absolutely love this method, and I think you will too. One of our favorite ways to be able to use all of our heat transfer vinyl scraps is actually to cut them in strips and lay them shiny side up. So instead of using shiny side down, we actually use our scraps a little bit differently. So we do not mirror when we're cutting our scraps. We place them shiny side up, so then we are able to cut through, just like in our hack where we cut the mandala. We use the same setting here. So heavy cardstock, more pressure, craft board, something like that. And we are able to use multiple colors and create a really awesome design. So what you want to notice here is that the transfer tape is still attached, just like our mandala. So here's the fun part. So you have this awesome butterfly cut out in the multiple colors. You'll want to grab some heat transfer tape to be able to peel this all up and then apply it onto your shirt. So if you've never used a heat transfer tape, this is something that you probably wouldn't usually have on hand, but it's actually nice to have because this is heat resistant and you can do projects like this. So then you're able to take it, apply it down, and you're able to peel up the project really easily. And now that you have it peeled up, what you'll be able to do is apply it down, and then you'll see that both layers of the heat transfer vinyl tape will come up after you apply the heat. Now let's say you don't want to have to purchase your very own heat transfer vinyl tape because you're only going to use it every now and again. Guess what? I have a hack for you. What you'll do is you're actually going to save a piece of heat transfer vinyl transfer after you apply a large design down. So you're able to take it right like this and you'll have it. I use some type of wax paper to kind of seal it and make sure that it's not damaged. I just stick it to the wax paper, and this works really great just to have a piece of heat resistant transfer tape ready to go if I'm wanting to use scraps. But guess what? My favorite way to reuse this is when I'm using any type of printable heat transfer vinyl. Guys, this is game changer. So this is a StarCraft for dark materials, and you can see when you print it, you have to print it vinyl side up so it can print through. You weed it, but then you may need some transfer tape. Some of these brands don't offer transfer tape in the package. So this is a great hack to be able to reuse a piece of your heat resistant transfer tape from one of your projects. We're going to use the taco method to lay it down and pick up our printable heat transfer vinyl to transfer it over onto our pillow, our shirt, or whatever you're working with. So now that we picked it up, we're just going to make sure that it lays flat and stays down. And we're just going to peel back this transfer right like this. And we're just making sure, just like you're doing any type of vinyl project, you're wanting to make sure it's all laying flat and staying down. And you just want to peel this back. So now that you have this transferred over, you're going to be able to take this printable heat transfer vinyl and apply it to whatever you want, whether it's your t-shirt, your pillow, you have it right here. And now you can do more intricate designs than ever before with printable heat transfer vinyl. This is a hack that you're definitely going to want to keep in your back pocket. Let's say you've ran out of the color of vinyl that you need for a project, but you have it in heat transfer. Typically, you would think, oh my gosh, I just wish I had this in vinyl. What if I told you you could use your heat transfer vinyl over top of your traditional vinyl? So let's say we wanted a really cool glitter look, and again, we don't have it in vinyl. So you're going to cut it out of heat transfer vinyl, and you're going to now apply it to your regular vinyl to finish your project. So we applied our heat transfer vinyl to our regular vinyl, and now we're going to lay it on our Cricut Easy Press mat, and we're going to apply just some heat, just like this. We're not going to apply too much pressure. We're just wanting to apply a nice even layer of heat so that we can allow the heat transfer to adhere to the vinyl. So here's the secret. You're going to now let this cool completely. You're going to do a cold peel, and then after it cools, you're going to be able to just peel it back, and you'll see that it's all adhered together now. And you have your vinyl decal with your heat transfer vinyl on top, and then you can apply it like a traditional sticker. I actually love heat transfer vinyl and pairing it with vinyl because it ended up looking amazing. I think you'll really enjoy this hack, especially when you run out of regular vinyl on a few projects. Now, if you ever struggled to be able to weed your heat transfer vinyl, I have a few hacks that are definitely going to help you out with this. So if you're using a white or a light colored heat transfer vinyl, you're going to grab some cocoa powder. And if you're using dark colors of heat transfer vinyl, you're going to want to grab some baby powder. Let me share with you how this works. You're just going to take some cocoa powder and you're going to apply it onto your design. And you're going to see it's going to start getting in the nook and crannies of your heat transfer so that you can see exactly where the cut lines are. And this is going to help you weed so much easier with this as a guide. And you can apply even more cocoa powder if that will help you to just fill in all of those lines. And look right here. I even can use my finger to make sure it's all removed. And this is the coolest part. You now have a perfect outline of your design with just a hair of cocoa powder so that then you can go in and have so much more confidence while weeding. And that helps time and time again to be able to have a confident weed. So just like the cocoa powder, you're going to do the same thing with the black and the baby powder. So you can open this up and you can just apply a little bit of baby powder. And then you're going to want to use your brush to just go in and draw it in. And then you're going to scrape off all of the baby powder. And what's crazy is that it leaves barely any debris, but now you have that perfect outline that you can go in and just start weeding from. This will be really helpful for any really intricate project or anything like that that you want to make sure to not ruin, especially with smaller projects. This will help a bunch, and to help make sure you don't miss any of these inside pieces. Have you ever thought about using cocoa powder or baby powder to be able to weed your projects easier? It's going to help you every single time to get a great result and make sure you don't mess up any of your projects. So similar to being able to apply heat transfer vinyl to regular vinyl, did you know you can apply heat transfer vinyl to cardstock? It's just that easy. So what you would do is place your design down on your cardstock, and you'll just want to give it about 10 seconds, and you'll see how it's already bubbling. That means it's already adhering to the cardstock. You could also do this to napkins, and I've seen some really cool party napkins from heat transfer vinyl. So now you can peel it back, and you can see you've now been able to use heat transfer vinyl on your cardstock. Now that you're able to use heat transfer vinyl on your cardstock, what else do you think you could use with heat transfer vinyl? I mean, the possibilities are endless. I also mentioned you could do this same technique on any type of party napkins so that you can make really custom napkins really, really quickly. Did you guys know you can actually use heat transfer vinyl on wood as well? It's one of my favorite ways to use heat transfer vinyl, and now that there's a Cricut Mini Easy Press, it's made it easier than ever to be able to apply heat transfer vinyl onto wood. Instead of having to make a stencil and then painting and going through all of that, you are simply able to apply heat transfer vinyl onto wood really quickly. And again, just like our cardstock and just like our shirts, you'll see that it's working when the transfer tape starts to bubble. And you're just going to go through the whole project, give about 20 seconds for each area to make sure it's laying down and adhering. And then as you can tell, after you apply it down, you just peel off the transfer tape, and there you have it. You have your heat transfer vinyl been able to apply onto wood really, really quickly and easily. I also want to give you a tip. When you're looking for wood to use with heat transfer vinyl, make sure it's smooth, make sure it's not too textured, because you still have to allow the heating plate of whatever you're using to get in there and apply it on to the wood. So textured pieces will not work well. Smoother, the better. This next hack is definitely for glitter heat transfer vinyl. You can use it for other types of heat transfer vinyl, but the vinyl with glitter is the hardest for me personally to weed, and I think you'll really enjoy this hack. What we did was we created whatever we wanted to cut out of the glitter. Then we duplicated it and set that to right. It's really important to change the function from a basic cut to draw. And then we were able to attach them together so that it would first cut out, and then the second function would be to draw. Because now this glitter has been able to be drawn on the back, so I can see exactly where to go ahead and weed. So instead of having to grab cocoa powder, baby powder, the Cricut can actually write on the back exactly where it's been cut. And this is a super fun hack to be able to do in Cricut. But remember, all you need to do, duplicate, set to right, and then attach. Let me know in the comments if you would actually be willing to try this hack so that you can draw on the back of your heat transfer vinyl for amazing weeding every single time, because let me tell you, working with glitter heat transfer vinyl isn't for the faint of heart, and any hack always helps me along the way. This is our last hack, and honestly, it could be one of the best. I am here to tell you how to put heat transfer vinyl on any type of your mugs. So this right here is a glitter heat transfer vinyl, and as you can see on a mug, it is a curved surface. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some heat transfer tape from Sublimation, and we're going to tape this down like this. And as we tape it down, we are going to make sure that we are trying to allow it to stick to the mug as best as possible, the vinyl. And look what we're going to do. We're going to then get our heat gun and be able to make sure it is going to stay down. So now notice that the clear transfer tape is kind of crinkling. That's okay because it is a curved surface. That will happen. What you want to look for is making sure the actual vinyl and the glitter is staying down really, really well. So worry more about the vinyl being flat rather than the transfer tape being flat. So as you can see, I can feel around here and be like, okay, all of this is laying down really well. I need to apply a piece over to this side, and then we'll be good to go in with our heat gun. All right, so we've taped this down, and what we're going to do is we're going to grab our heat gun and we're going to use the high setting and heat this down. You're going to give about 10, I would say close to 20 seconds. You can actually see that it's adhering down. You just want to make sure it's enough to heat set it. But it really doesn't take too much time. You may not want to get too close to it, so just be mindful of that as well. And then what we'll do is we'll use a cold peel. So after you heated it down, you can just now start peeling up all the tape, and you'll see that the heat transfer glitter is applied down thanks to the amazing heat gun. The heat gun is actually the best way to apply heat transfer vinyl onto curved surfaces, because something like a mini easy press would never allow you to get in there with the curve. So that's why we highly recommend, if you're wanting to apply heat transfer vinyl onto these unique surfaces, you definitely want to go for a heat gun like this. If you've absolutely loved these heat transfer vinyl hacks, you've got to go check out these vinyl hacks. These vinyl hacks are going to change your life, just like our heat transfer vinyl hacks have hopefully changed yours today. If you loved this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Makers Gonna Learn YouTube channel for more DIY Cricut hacks every single day. Check out our membership site down below so you get access to over 10,000 digital cut files, over 1,000 fonts, Cricut training, and so much more. I can't wait to see you in the next video, so hop on over there, click the button, and check us out at the vinyl hack video.